On the verge of the 2025 UFA playoffs, this is your playoff preview live from Zions Bank Stadium in Salt Lake City. Evan Lepler alongside Bryan Jones. The road to championship weekend, now just 12 teams still in the mix. Let's go division by division, Bryan, starting with the Salt Lake Shred. We just watched them win their 11th straight game. They are the top seed in the West. What impresses you most about the Shred, and why could this year be different than last?
Well, past years they've been extremely talented, and they lost a lot of people coming in the season. They've had to rely on a lot of their young recruits, younger players that they built up. They've been so composed, so disciplined, and so selfless in the way that they move. It's not one player. It's not Jordan Kerr having to have that MVP, carry that team on his back. It's everybody getting the job done.
Funny you say it's not one player, because I was going to ask you to pick the one X factor for the Salt Lake Shred. Who is most important in getting them to Breese Stevens Field for championship weekend?
I mean, you could pick a lot of them. You could pick 1 out of 3 Jorgensens. I think you could kind of look there. Nate DeMorgan right now feels like an X factor because he gets the D-line breaks and gets the easy free hucks.
Freshman at Carleton, just won a college championship. Could he help lead the Shred to a UFA championship as well? Salt Lake will take on the winner of the first round game in the West between Colorado and Oakland. Two teams that are incredibly talented, Bryan. Let's start with the Spiders. They got off to such a hot start. They beat New York in their opening game, but they haven't played as well in the second half of the season. How do they find their mojo at the right time in the playoffs?
Well, I think they're a team that's challenging the top teams, right? They came out hot. They had a great offense. They have some new additions that are doing really great work for them, but then they ran into Salt Lake. They ran into other teams that just have that edge against them. That win against New York was crucial. It's tough when you're up and coming. You have to have a prove-it game, and they can start in the playoffs against Colorado. All
right, that's the deal in the West. Let's shift to the South, where Carolina in Week 13 defeated Austin on the road. That means the Atlanta Hustle for the third year in a row are the #1 seed in the South. But the story with the Hustle is riddled with torment and pain, considering what's happened when they've hosted the South Division Championship game the last 2 years, like the Shred, falling short by 1 goal a year ago. Atlanta's trying to turn the page, but this feels like the Hustle team that could do it, Bryan. What have you liked about watching the Hustle as they will be the #1 seed in the South?
Well, first of all, it's always felt like the Hustle team that could do it every single year. And so for them, it's a matter of can they play their best game and in the pivotal moments survive any onslaught from the other team. And so, I mean, you got to start with Brett Holzmeyer, but you also got to go to Austin Taylor. He's had a fantastic season. They've both been big contributors in the past. It just comes down to the last 5 minutes of the game. Can they put this one away? They've done a lot of work in the offseason to address any of the heartbreaks. We'll see if it makes a difference. It's a long time to wait to get redemption.
And despite Carolina's impressive performance in Austin to start Week 13, the Flyers are out of the playoffs. So it's a real opportunity for both the Soul and the Growlers to earn the right to play Atlanta in the South Division Final.
And I like the Growlers right now. That's a bad loss, unfortunately, for Austin going into the playoffs. That Flyers team, we know they were good. They finished the year with a winning record. They didn't quite get over the hump to make the playoffs, but still not the performance you expect to see from Austin going to the playoffs. I like San Diego to take that first game.
All right, in the Central Division, the Chicago Union, undefeated, 12-0, came into the year with a lot of hype. They saw Minnesota win the title last year and said, that could be us. And they have had that championship look down the stretch with the way they've played against the wind chill in particular.
Right, they've just dominated that matchup. Donde Murray, though, is the truth. And we look at these best players in the league. Jeff Babbitt has ruled the roost, been MVP a couple times here recently. But Donde Murray, I think he's the best player in the league right now, and that's a huge X factor going to the playoffs for Chicago with that defense.
It'll be Desmarais' first UFA postseason, but he's had a splendid start to his UFA career with the Chicago Union. Madison, Minnesota will be the round 1 game. Wind chill big favorites in front of their hometown fans at Seafoam Stadium.
And they should be. Their defense is still dominant, right? They're figuring out the offensive stuff. They got a little bit of traction in this game. They've been trying to tweak their offensive game, use different players, find different things. If they can maintain possession, get the D-line out in the field, Minnesota is going to have a chance to play a good game against Chicago, and anything can happen once you get there.
We have saved the spiciest division for last, the East Division. New York, D.C., and Boston. It's Empire Breeze in the first round for the right to face Boston. Let's talk about that first round game. New York, DC, they split their 2 regular season meetings. New York's win, perhaps the craziest game ever, double OT. Empire, fortunate in many ways to prevail. But New York adds Ben Dameron, the former UNC star. They're finding their rhythm. What do you expect, Empire Breeze in DC this weekend?
Well, if we've learned anything over the years is that we don't know what to expect. It really doesn't matter what's happened before with New York and DC. It almost always comes down to a crazy finish, a buzzer beater, something, a controversial call. It's going to be an exciting one again. No matter what we say, it's going to come down to the last 30 seconds and maybe whether or not Ben Yacht takes down the buzzer beater.
And what about Boston, Brian? I mean, they are the number 1 seed in the East. They don't have the playoff acumen that DC and New York do, but they have been the best team in the East more often than not throughout the season, despite their hiccups down the stretch against DC. Do you think this Boston team should be regarded as the favorite going into the East playoffs?
I think they're the favorite going into these playoffs. I think they're the favorite in the entire UFA right now. They have the most talented roster. They have Jeff Babbitt with that championship pedigree. Tobe DeCrana has been incredible for them from top to bottom. The deepest roster there is, it's Boston. They have slipped up at the end of the season. That makes things a little interesting, but we'll see if they can put it together in the playoffs.
Brian, you have been a mainstay at Championship Weekend. We will miss you this year as you're becoming a dad for the first time. This is your chance to be on the spot. Who are your picks for Championship Weekend, and who is your pick to hoist the trophy in Breese Stevens Field on August 23rd?
I think Atlanta gets off the schneid. I think they're going to Championship Weekend, so I think we're going to see Atlanta, we're going to see Boston, Chicago, and Salt Lake, and then that gets really interesting. Chicago, they're going to be the 1 seed, right? And then looking through who's going to be the 4 seed, I believe that's going to be Atlanta. That's a great matchup to start, wouldn't that be? I think you got to pick Chicago in that one to come out on top, and then Boston versus Salt Lake. I know right now we're sitting in Zions Bank Stadium. I know they've been playing great, but I think you got to see a Chicago-Boston final, and that's going to be Boston taking it home.
You got Boston to win the championship.
I do.
We'll see if they can come out of the East. New York and DC will have something to say about that. And to be clear, Championship Weekend seeding is still very much up in the air, determined by regular season record. Point differential could be a factor as well. But the UFA playoffs, we are oh so close. 11 more games to determine a champion. Look forward to seeing you on WatchUFA.tv, UFA YouTube, and hopefully at Breese Stevens Field in Madison for Championship Weekend, August 22nd and 23rd. Here in windy Salt Lake City, for Brian Jones, I'm Evan Lepler. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you in the playoffs.